Hello everyone, welcome to MLPDS, the My Little Pony Drawing School. Today, all
Yay!
zombies have gone to heaven, and we have taken over.
Just kidding, he's on vacation. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
he's just seeing some friends, so he's fine. so,
We didn't kill him, we swear.
he's our good zombie friend. He can have vacations if he wants, you know. So
Yeah.
I thought I'd take over for him because I've been meaning to sort of have a bit more practice with OBS again anyway, and get used to streaming. So woohoo! And
Woo.
we can do the stream. Oh, I should turn the actual draw panel. There we go. So as things going as usual, otherwise. So welcome. Please feel free to give us your art and things. If you have anything you want to critique, throw it at our face, because we want it.
Yes, and otherwise, welcome to the 111th 111 draw stream.
Ooh,
Woo.
it's the same backwards as it is forwards.
Whoa! I don't know what to do, man. That's too much.
It's so symmetrical.
And today we'll be having the dearly beloved Fluffy's Eye.
Yay!
And we have also an old favorite, Hollow Note, is joining us. Or
Hello.
should I say Rin? I'm not sure.
No, Hollow Note's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fluffy, your meme is working out great.
I just wanted to add that. There we go.
and me, Allie Claw, the other one.
The super fluffy lion friend.
So yeah. First, let's see anyone in chat that posted art.
Hello to Wanna Draw and Coltrail.
Oh yes.
How you doing today? I am also not signed into Picato, so I'm going to sign in and then I can actually chat. Oh, I will sign in to MLPDS because I had that clicked. Wait, not create account. Why would it autofill create account? Silly thing.
It just wants you to have more accounts than you actually need.
More accounts than you're actually capable of having.
Exactly.
That's the same name. There we go. Now I'm logged in as the MLPDS, which is really weird. I'm not used to not being Fluffy's Eye.
So yeah, no one in the chat is someone who submitted a picture today. Though, like we said before, if you are in the chat and want a picture critiqued, feel free to submit it. First comes, first serves. We're happy to do yours above all the others because this is gonna be recorded and on YouTube for them. Otherwise, I'd say we started with the first image.
Let's go. Okay, so which one is in the chat?
No one's in chat.
Oh,
just
sorry.
unless...
So it's just the. Okay, so we'll do CPCs then, since she's here with us.
Yes.
It's a free for all.
So
I
keep
never know
pencil
because sometimes
case.
CPC likes to go last.
Oh, it's if she wants to, say something now. Oh, you left draw
Forever
pile.
hold your fluff.
You have to climb back in. Yes. I feel like we should wait, because then she can actually see what we're doing.
Yes.
I guess we might as well. While she's fixing that, we can go up and do the first one then.
Alrighty.
So first picture, this green pone. So I actually have like a fade layer on. I think it turns off specifically for each person and not for everyone. Is that right, you guys?
Yeah, so you just have to do it.
Yeah, so you can turn it on and off if you want. As soon as we start talking about colors, I'll turn it off. But like while we're drawing, I can leave the fade layer on. Anyway, so what background do we have for this one? Any like questions they posted with it or anything?
Nope. For this one, let me just quick read the post. They say critique ? Less than 3, and that's it.
Little heart.
That is less than 3.
It is less than.
They want less than 3 critiques. Okay.
I mean, that's true. There's only 2.
Well, I mean,
So
let's have a look. Get our redlining on. So just general critique they want.
yeah, pretty much.
My pen is obscenely big. I will shrink it down. I also figured out how to make my lines smoother and not horrible looking.
You're gonna have to teach me your madness. I know you showed me, but
There was just a little tab that said input, and I just click on the smoothening and drag it right to the top.
I'm still getting
Smoothing.
used to this new monitor that I have, and I'm just like, wow, this is really large.
Okay.
So, I think first, to get to the critique, I'm going to say something really general to start out. Your lines, they're very nice and bold, but there's no line variety. They all kind of end at thickness. There's no fade in and fade out of lines. So something I would say to consider are playing with your line widths. And I'm not sure if you're using, what program you're using, or, if you, because I know I've done silly things like not even forget to turn on my pen pressure sensitivity, and that usually gives me really blocky lines. So, I mean, that would be cool if you could, like, tell us. Maybe we can answer back and see what's what. But, yeah, that's my first really general critique of it. I like that they're nice and bold and clean, but they're kind of just, there's no thinning out. It just kind of feels like you drew this without turning on your pen pressure at all.
Well, my pen just stopped working.
There's always something. Usually it's my tablet. So I'm just looking like the back thigh overlaps the front leg, and it's obviously backwards of what you want because they're facing forwards. So overlapping is a very important thing, and it can actually do wonders. It's a surprisingly little thing that can affect quite a lot. And it can be as simple as, say, like, okay, so we've got an arm. Okay, here's this is a terrible arm. I can't undo. Oh. Okay. There's an arm. There's an elbow. Arm goes up. Whatever. So here's the inside. The question is, which way round is the arm facing? If this overlaps, oh look, this part here is in front, and then it goes upwards this way. If I need to erase this actually. Oh, I can't. If this part's in front, then it shows the opposite, and actually kind of doesn't look quite right. But it says, hey, this one's in front, and then it goes off to the back. That way. So it changes the way things are shaped. How do I get rid of this now? Okay. So it is quite important to look at. So what I did was just like put the thigh in front. The body should go around and then continue to the thigh. It shouldn't sort of break off here where you've got that. It looks almost like there's sort of like a ball for the chest, and then like the body just vanishes here, like it's literally just a circle, and then there's like a thigh attached to it, which isn't the way ponies are built. I do like the way you sort of like got the neck curved down and into the body. It's
Yes.
quite nice. So got that, and then the leg. I'm just sort of working on repositioning the legs right now, I think, because they're all sort of a bit attached a bit weirdly. But that's just a matter of practicing. You can also look at pony skeletons and stuff like. You got all sorts of references and tutorials of like how to sort of set up pony anatomy, and they'll give you a nice little skeleton, so you can look at it and say, oh, okay, so this is how the pony body shape works. Cool. This is not letting me erase. That's weird. It can get very confusing, but we recommend it a lot because it is very good to look at sort of how the body structures work, because it will give you a really good idea of how stuff just you don't have to learn like all the bones and muscles and what they're called and everything. It would really just sort of be a case of like, okay, well, like the shoulder goes here, and it sounds really simple, but sometimes you do just need to like have a little bit of a look at it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was just fixing that up.
I'm just having an experiment. You can as well. I'm just playing with it. It is a pretty cute face. You got like a very sort of cartoony nose where it looks like it kind of sticks up.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I'd be careful of is that a nose like this, where you have like a full arch that goes all the way around, sort of like a C on its side, that's more like a pig's snout. Where even if you want like a cute little, pudgy pony nose, you'd only mostly see half the circle, like Fluffy's drawing here. It's kind of like you don't need the full outline, because when you look at someone's face, kind of like when you look at a human's face, you won't see the full outline of the nose. You'll just see like the outer outline, the thing that'll overlap with the face, because it all kind of just smooths together.
So in the MLP movie, they look like this. The bottom one's probably slightly bigger, but as they're going towards the front view, they'll break the line. You can see where it goes into like the mouth. Whereas if it's more side view, they'll have it connected. And I think the same sort of thing goes for the show as well, but they just they usually split it a bit more liberally. But it can look cute either way. So it's just a case of it basically it helps to imply the shape and direction of the nose, if that makes sense. Like, okay, it's going like this, and you got the shape. So it works a lot. So this helps. What I'm doing right now will help show what I mean by that, like how it bends, so you can get an idea of like the 3D shape. And you can see how this plays off like the plus sign that Ali made there.
Yeah. Plus signs on the face always
Plus,
helpful,
plus.
like a grid. Plus, 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 plus.
And yeah, the horn was something I looked at. I was noticing as well, because it's this sort of like bump
It's
here.
very big. Yeah. It's almost like if I'm looking at your horn, basically I'm seeing the connection being this giant like circle on her head.
I mean that is how, like, the size is, like, proportion wise is pretty much exactly how I draw horns as well. And I also do like the sort of curviness, but I kind of make it more subtle. The way I just drew that purple line is how I would do a curved horn, it sort of implies a curve without making an actual like jagged spike. But you could always exaggerate that and have it curved and spiky anyway. It's just a matter of, and you could do it the way Ali's doing, sort of push it forward a bit more, because the way I did it sort of probably wrapped a bit too far back.
And
you got to kind of
make
get
it a little smaller if you're pushing it, because like the thing is the horns
sorry.
coming out from the head. Oh, you're fine. The horns coming out from the plane of the head. So like heads are not a perfect square. We can break them down to think like, okay, yeah, there's different aspects of a cube. I'm just going to draw a quick like 3D cube. Say like this part that I'm kind of lining right there is the front of the face, but like since pony heads are, then we break it down into a sphere, there's different planes on a sphere. So we're dealing with, that's why we kind of do that line thing to see the planes of the sphere. So we see that, a different color. This line here is all the angles that we kind of vaguely go over when we're doing a sphere. So if the horn's up here, it's gonna lie on that line at that angle. And you'll get a horn coming out more out towards, even with a curved horn. Because like my only fear about having the super pointed up horn, that it's more let me just quick erase that.
See, I keep ending up getting it too high up, because it's sort of like trying to work with the perspective of it as well. It is tricky. Sorry,
I'd be careful. I don't think it's that turned.
Yeah. Well, this would be sort of a straighter horn shape. There we go. Yes, that's what I was trying to pull off. If you wanted to go for that, there's all sorts of ways to sort of interpret the shape.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be one extreme or another. You can sort of have anywhere in between.
Yeah, I think the main thing just to remember is sort of like a consistent connection point. Even if you did want, like, I'd say the horn you kind of have now makes me think of a rhino with how like strict the curve is. Where like in a traditional unicorn, it's usually pretty 90 degrees from the head. Like if the head was a flat surface, it kind of goes out like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, there's a horse.
Very nice, beautiful.
But yeah, like Fluffy said, there's like 1,000 ways to do this because they are fantasy creatures. But there's ways to like neaten it up, even despite them being fantasy creatures. There's a way to like play with it, so it looks a bit nicer. How it sort of connects more. But yeah, no, you got this. Like I said, it just feels really big, the connection you have right here, especially with the bump at the hair.
Yeah, and like I said, you can. I mean, that is a matter of style where you get to make choices on that. Because, like I said, I have mine kind of subtly curved or slightly more certain characters, and like I do like them to be thick and long, but like that's my style. Or thick and short. I actually got really into doing like sort of really thick, short, round horns recently. But that's a matter of my like personal choice, because I've tried the different styles and learned how to do them, if that makes sense. So I would definitely recommend like looking at how different artists have interpreted it and say, okay, there's this, I can see this artist done this, and asking yourself, how can I try these different styles and which one do I like more and for what reasons? I'm going to see if I can do my little chubby horn. I do like my short stubby horns.
You know what? You know what's throwing me off? There's a tangent with the hair. I'm seeing two different connection points on the horn where like this is a curve in and then this is a curve in. That's what's been throwing me off.
Oh. Yeah, the little bump that I said I saw. Yeah, you're right. That is a tangent. You've got to have the horn continue down past
Yeah.
that. If that's a part of the hair, it's because it's not even just direction of the line, but the line weight. Because you got this line and you got a separate, much thinner line. So this looks like it's tucking in behind, and you got like the horn coming out like this. I see. Yeah.
That's why I was so like, this is wrong, and
Yeah.
I can't.
You gotta be careful with how you use tangents like that. Tangents is something that you have to learn. It's like it's not something you encounter straight away, but it can be quite important. It's just basically what it means is like it's all about sort of how lines interrupt and like interfere with each other, like as they pass over from things that's supposed to be separate, like looking like they follow on and they're not supposed to. It can cause confusion.
Oh, the little details.
Otherwise, yeah, to summarize, play with your line weights, just sort of like learn to refine them, have the bigger, thicker line weights for the bolder, more solid sort of objects, and thinner line weights for smaller details, like which you've already started doing with the horn lines here, and the inner ears and eyebrows, and you've got the smaller details being smaller, and that's, great. Push that, make sure you get your pressure sensitivity on so you have nice smooth tapering sort of lines, because that'll help you a lot. You won't have to fuss about getting everything, like, it will look a lot messier when you don't have any pressure on your line, because this just makes it so much easier.
And even if you do have pressure sensitivity, it'll come with time, because I do see like here at the horn how it kind of tapers out, but also I see areas where like here and here they ended a big blop. So it's not like flowing into the body, they're just kind of stopping. So
play around with line weights, make sure to take into account layering, tangents and stuff, which the layering I mentioned at the beginning, just to bring that back up again. Look at pony anatomy. You can find lots of great, really helpful tutorials to help you sort of organize how body shapes and stuff, the structure is meant to go, and it will help you learn how to build that up. And just experiment with lots of different things. I think you've already got a really nice style going, so just play around and have fun with it.
Yeah, and keep arting. Can't wait to see more from you.
If you have any other questions, feel free to post them on the reply to the comment. The Reddit post, whatever. I'm not used to Reddit. So, if anyone else has anything else, we can move on. Oh, we could do CPCs now since she's here. And a whole pony has been drawn on the right. I was like, has someone posted another picture for critique?
That is a fluffy pony. That makes me like the cheese. The mane makes me think of cheese.
Yeah,
for
me
some
too.
reason.
Like kind of melty.
I could talk a little bit about it, but I don't know if it's a style choice or if it's a character thing. But
yeah, what is it?
The hair just seems flat to me. Like I did a little bit of a thing on the tail while you guys weren't really listening.
Oh, yeah,
but I think I pushed the wrong button on my mic, and yeah. So it just looks a little bit flat to me. Like you don't have any places where the hair overlaps itself. So it looks like you're trying to do something like Celestia's hair, and it's thin. Like with Celestia and Luna, they have very big flowing mane styles, like something that just starts out small, and then it just grows, just massive.
It's very volumetric.
And then it just kind of tapers off real quick. I can see where you're going with it, but the problem is that you don't actually like follow through with all of it. I don't know if that was like a choice by you, but that's something that was just maybe changing.
I think that sort of does play in well to the like layering overlap that I was talking about. Yeah, to apply that to the mane and tail as well, and you can get
Yeah.
that flowiness in.
Yeah, like you'll want to have overlapping points just because it gives a little bit more of a sense of like physicalness as opposed to just picture.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what gives shape and weight. I mean, like you said, hollow. It just sort of makes it look flat when you don't have any overlaps at all because it's just a one solid block of color. Yeah, just try. Okay, so if do you have any other points at all?
No, I think I'm goody goody.
Okay. Okay, so moving on. That Aliclaw pony is being coloured in very nicely. So, Q Pencil Case, you're still with us, yes? Let's look at the chat. Yes. Alright. So, in before she fluffs her own drawing. So, what was it specifically you wanted to... Ooh, what's happening there? I don't understand these hieroglyphics. What was it you
I
wanted
was trying to draw a hand. Don't question me.
Oh, it was you. I thought it was
I was
CPC.
like, ah, crap. Yeah.
Yes, keep in case we know which one we're critiquing. Or are you pointing to all the points of cute? Because I think it'd be easier just to highlight the entire image.
I'm not entirely sure. My pen isn't working. There we go. I'm not entirely sure what this guy is supposed to be here. Like this little, like.
I think that's part of the pillow. I'm not sure. I think there's like her tail wrapped around the other part of the pillow here. So maybe it is.
Oh, I thought it was a cloud. Oh, it's the corner of the pillow. Okay. Okay, I see.
not-
It's a corner of the pillow. Okay.
I've not seen pillows shaped like that before.
Yeah.
Like this.
Okay. So she's got her tail wrapped around. Okay. I see. I see. That's cute.
Did you use references for the pillow? Was like it's a particular kind of pillow? Or?
It looks like a Mickey Mouse pillow.
Yeah, I was
almost.
gonna say it does remind me of like sort of old cartoons and stuff. I mean, I'm not an expert on drawing pillows, but
I the only thing that I can really say is maybe make this leg a little bit fuller here. And my pen is just not wanting to work with me today. Like just make like a tiny bit fuller, but that's all I can really say about it. I mean, everything looks good. It's a good shape you have. I mean, the anatomy is all really well done. Personally, I would scrunch up the face just a little bit, like right here. Just kind of give her a little bit of like a squished cheek kind of feeling.
if I can figure out how to rotate my canvas, I would.
But other than that, I mean, I don't really know what else to say.
I know there's
think-
a way to rotate. I can't remember. Oh wait, it's on the bottom. That's right.
And it really doesn't help that I haven't been able to actually fix my monitors yet, so I'm missing a lot of the lines on these.
I think the something that pokes out to me because I've seen the consistency that you draw your mouse character, and yeah, I know she's really scrunched up, but I almost like miss her neck in this sleeping pose. It kind of just goes into body, and you usually have her shoulders really well defined, and the shoulders just kind of come out, or her arms just kind of come out. There's no like shoulder. So like I'm trying to think how to change that, but that's something that's poking out to me for like a simple like these are for Instagram stickers. For a simple thing like that, I think it works, but to keep consistency with the character, I said I see usually the shoulder and the neck more well defined.
This is a difficult face to scrunch up.
Something like that, like you're drawing, but I would just be careful because now you're making her whole body shrink and her whole neck shrink. Like I said, it's a very difficult pose to pull off. There are
Yeah.
things gonna be covered, but I do like the more defined shoulder because, like I said, you do define her shoulder everywhere else. That just might be a silly nitpick. What can I say? It's cute otherwise. I really don't have much else. I like the tails wrapped around the little pillow corner. That's a cute touch.
I don't know if what I'm doing is actually helping. I do agree with sort of like, I understand like trying to scrunch up the face. I can't seem to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
It's like the
with this kind of a like, you've got the fluff on there, so it makes it kind of difficult to like actually feel like it's scrunched. Just because if you unfluff it, it looks then flat, and that's difficult. But
it's like with the whole thing of making faces all squishy and moldable, but like it's just kind of hard to do sometimes. I think with some poses. Plus, it's like a pillow, so it's not like she's leaning on a counter where her face would be the thing molding. Like the pillow's obviously taking some of the weight in there. What you could do is just really bury her in there. Just plump, super thick pillow, super comfy. She's like completely lost in there now.
You know, I kind of like that because she's like sinking into the pillow more.
Yeah, super big smile. It's really warm. Yeah, let's just stretch that face, super stretched. What you can do as well, if you haven't got any eyelashes on her, but what you can do is, I have to keep remembering as well that I'm supposed to be the one the streamers are viewing, so I need to keep it steady. You can actually use these sort of like eye bridges here you got. I don't know if that's part of the colouring or what, but you can actually use that to sort of like, if you want it to be sort of more relaxed, you can sort of tilt it like this, you know, because it can help you to sort of twist the ways. But yeah, you can add like eyebrows, and that would help you to sort of define the face a bit more, and then you could combine that with the little markings. I'm just going to turn this frontwards again. Yeah, the eyebrows are on top of those eye bridges. Okay. Yeah, I can be blushing a moment. Instead of shocked. I see your shock lines there, but I choose anime blush.
Blush you. Well, is that all we have to say for this cute little mousie?
I think so. I don't think I have anything else anyway. Difficult pose, but it can work. Yeah, I think there's not really anything else you could do for this particular thing. Like where you've got like her arm coming around here. It's like I feel like you got. This is fine. This isn't like something you've done wrong or could do better. It's just other ideas. But you could have like the arm come and rest like on the pillow. Be like, oh yeah, so nice and like relaxed and cuddled like this. You know, it's a very sort of like soothed pose. But if you do want it sort of cuddling the pillow, you can have the arm here and then have the pillow like wrap around.
Scrunched up.
Yes, like she is
Yeah.
like properly like squishing the pillow, and then
Yeah, just kind of like her tail squishing it, so all her front's also squishing it.
yeah,
Like,
so she's like
hug that
properly
pillow.
super squish tight hug. You got like little fingers
Yeah.
wrapped around there. So that's just like an idea. And yeah, like you said, like Ali said, you got the tail doing it as well. So the mouse hug.
The mouth. That's adorable.
I'm gonna do more like huggies and stuff as well. That's a confused mouse down the bottom as well. Yeah, so it's up to you to experiment.
Well, if we're going to move on, someone from the stream submitted a picture. I posted it in our little
Woohoo!
chat group. So if we want to hit up that one next.
Yeah, let me just throw that in.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay. Boop-a-doo. And boop-a-doo-ba-doo. Just gonna throw that in somewhere. I need to extend the canvas.
Make it bigger.
I do like that there's a there are just buttons to just make it bigger. You just press them over and over. Control L and Control K. Do.
I just see the slider bars gradually moving as the canvas gets bigger.
Okay. I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger because we've got a lot of detail and stuff that's super nice. Boop. Okay, so it's down on the bottom left.
Awesome.
Just get this back on. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Now I accidentally figure out how to zoom when I'm trying to pan. Great.
So this piece is from Mr. Brickwall. Excuse me. So they've been working on this for a few days, and they feel like they're not sure what they're doing when it comes to painting. So any advice on painting would be awesome.
I see. So it's like digital painting. Oh, forgive me, I've got dry throat today.
How to paint, because I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, digital painting is a very, very hard thing. Like, whether you're doing like lineless stuff or whatever, it can be very tricky. I do like. I have to say, I really like the composition of this piece. I like the way everything's laid out. I really do. Although I do feel like, just quickly, one thing that could benefit you is looking at disappearing points, because what you've got. I see a lot of the boxes don't really match up. Like, this house looks almost like it's bigger here, like, because these lines are going at two different sort of directions. You got lots of nice perspectives going on with some of the buildings, but you want to sort of just make sure that everything's consistent, like it's coming from the same plane, if that makes sense.
Perspective grids.
Yeah, you got perspective grids in a lot of programs, or you can sort of just work out your own. I imagine you can probably find something like that online as well. Or just a matter of training your eye to figure out where all the lines are going. Basically, it's if you were going to continue drawing a straight line with freehand, it's not easy, but if you were going to continue all these lines, where would they go? That's basically what you're asking. If you were to just continue them exactly along, where are they going? So this is what you want to be trying to aim for, as opposed to, oh look, that's going in the wrong direction. And that can be intentional, but it kind of needs to be obvious that it's intentional. Like if this was deliberately at a different position than this one, Otherwise, you want to make sure everything's going the same way. So what were you going to say, Hollow?
Oh yes. Sorry, I got distracted by my cat.
Good thing to be distracted by.
Yeah. He woke up and sneezed, yeah. However, I would clear up the sky a little bit. I like how you have the light streams, but it looks just murky to me. It looks. I mean, it looks like you've got a smog.
Yeah.
Smog.
See that?
Yeah. So if you want the cloudy feel of it, I would have clouds up there. Don't extend them down. Anything above the horizon level there is fine, but anything below that is gonna look like it's actual fog or just murky. Just
Keep the clouds to the background because you can see the sort of fading over this area here. It just looks quite faded out, which might be because of the sunbeams. But I would
Yeah.
say use the same things I mentioned for like for that. If you're gonna have something, make it obvious. I would say treat the light like an object, and think about like how it's shining through the clouds. But clouds as well can be very hard. My advice, and this, a lot of people would say, "Oh, this is cheaty." Absolutely not. Look online for brushes. There are plenty of things you can get for grass brushes, cloud brushes. There are all kinds of things. Like I love painting trees because I have lots of really cool like leaf brushes. And those actually come in handy for a lot of other things. They make like a great texture. If I minimize the pen, the size, I can use it as like a little texture pen. Look online because these are tools. Just as if you got any kind of like any physical tool for painting in real life, you've got art
Absolutely.
tools online, and that's what digital art is about. You've got these at your disposal, so use them. It's definitely not cheating. I mean, yeah,
Oh, no.
you could spend years learning to do it like with your own hands, but like that would be cool, but kind of unnecessary. And like you might as well be doing actual painting for that.
I mean, it's still worth learning. I
It
wouldn't
is,
say it's
yes.
unnecessary.
Well, not unnecessary, sorry, but like I mean, there's nothing against just using brushes that can give you some really nice effects. And again, it's not so much like here's a like. I suppose I should address this because you do actually get brushes where it's sort of just like a stamp shape, like here's a cloud and it like shoves that shape in. Those can be nice to just like as you're starting out, but you're really not learning anything by using them. Because they're like someone else's picture and you're just like planting it in. You might as well just be like pasting a picture in. But you have ones that like just have particular shapes that you use to paint with, and those that it is just up to you how you use them. But so I've actually gotten some pretty nice cloud things done lately because I found some interesting brushes, and again like the brushes differ, and it depends whether they're sort of like aimed at sort of more of a like landscapey oil painting kind of thing, or like an anime type thing, or like there's all kinds of different styles.
Yeah.
Or something
See, like,
realistic.
The thing I feel about brushes is that it's not cheating because, one, you can hand anyone a brush. That doesn't mean they're going to know how to utilize it. It takes time to even learn how to use texture brushes. It's not just like, oh, I can suddenly make clouds now. It's like, sure, you have the brush, but you still have to learn how to use it. You
Yeah.
can't just like slather it down. You have clouds.
Yeah, definitely. I found that as well. Like I've gotten the brushes, and it's like, okay, I don't know how to like use this brush to make what is on the preview image for the brush. Like, but it takes practice.
It's no way cheating because you still learn to use a tool.
Yes.
Every artist is going to find a tool,
100%.
and you need to take time to learn it. It's not a cheat. It's you take turn learning tools.
And yeah, and they said it as well in the chat that they were trying for a Misty Fog vibe, but maybe they used the airbrush too much. I would say something. The first immediate thought that came to mind for me was fog falls. My airbrush is not working, but I was gonna draw as I said. Okay, there's one. I found one. But yeah, just whoops, that was the bottom bar. I just shot the image over. But fog is generally quite dense cloud, like water vapor and stuff. So you can, if you put like sort of fog around the bottom areas of the picture, it's sort of draping over the buildings, you can make it have that foggy effect. But you want to clear up certain parts of the image, and I think the problem is that it is contesting against the light rays, like Hollow Note said. It's creating quite a lot of mess because there's just a lot going on.
There's too much soft brush going on. You need some defined edges. Even the sunlights, the god rays, as some call them, they have hard edges. They are peering through the clouds. They are broken off at some point from the clouds.
Yeah.
So like you need to be careful that you're not overusing soft brushes because it's so easy to overuse. But even in painterly paintings, there are hard edges. You cannot forget that.
And I think you have made a very, very nice attempt at like learning. You're trying, and that's really, really cool. I would say like it's you wanted to go for like a misty vibe. I'm assuming with the sun rays and everything, you also want to get that kind of like the prettiness and elegance in there with it. It's just a case of like you kind of thrown those things together and like overloaded everything a bit with them, whereas you can sort of separate them and use them in using the same things in the right way. can have a better effect. Maybe like toning down in some areas, sharpening, like Ali said,
Mm-hmm.
and you can make sure to balance everything a bit better, and it can look a lot less distressing on the eyes.
And as an overall comment I want to make, I know you said you've been working on this a few days, but the thing to remember about painting, a lot of it is building it up in layers. So say like you have your first layer down, which is blocking in color, and then you play with that, and then you neaten the things and you separate. A lot of the time I see some people when they're doing painting, they'll separate the character from the background, just so they have a easier time dealing with the character itself. Some people can do a painting all one layer. You feel free to utilize your layers. They're always there to help you, never to hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
unless you overuse them. That is also possible. It's about moderation, but it takes time and it takes layering. It's not just something that's gonna happen like you're gonna make a few strokes and that part's done. It's kind of like you do a little bit and then you back away and you look at the picture and then you
Mm-hmm.
go back in and you do a little more, and like you keep taking in the overall and the specific. The most important is the overall, though, taking in the overall to see that, and then at
Yes.
the end you can add in all these details of fog and stuff, because it's important that you get in that overall and then the details on top of
Yeah,
it.
because you can very well add those. You get the structure that you need from the painting in, and then you add in these details. You're painting in the atmosphere. You can easily do that. It's not a problem.
Hmm.
And like I was gonna say, Key Pensacus and I both use the too much layering. I think when we do, because she said herself in the chat she doesn't think how much she'd be able to help because she's used to doing it differently, and I do it the same way she does. Whereas we split every section of color up as a separate layer, usually, just so they won't contest with each other, and then you have like clipping layers on top of those to shade with, so it ends up like a huge mess, and it's really hard to organize. But it can sort of make things even then it might be a bit of a detriment because you've got like a huge mass of layers and you get lost so easily. But the benefit is it. Oh, hold on a minute. The benefit is that it lets you. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. Someone knocked on my door.
Sorry.
You're able to save a lot of time when everything's separate because you can make selections and things.
Mhm.
But it's just it all depends on the technique you're using. Anyway,
Absolutely. Like everyone
I've got to be
finds their
upbeat
own
quick.
way. Okay. Everyone finds their own way. Don't be afraid to, use a lot of layers, use less layers. I know for painting, people tend to not want to do as many, especially because you're blending a lot. So it's really up to you and what you find comfortable in your process. Um, otherwise, it's like you gotta experiment. Like I said, cleaning up. Trying to think what else to say. It's a lot of cleaning up and tightening the just the overall image. Because if we look at the image now, I see a lot of blurred together sections, kind of like the wall is leaking onto Fluttershy's leg, and there's kind of blobs of color everywhere, and just things, blobbing everywhere. So I think even on these building edges that are very nice, like hard edges, they still kind of have blobby features, and they don't have to be amazingly super detailed, but there's like some neatening up you can do, some adjusting, correcting. Maybe these walls you have back here could have some sort of vague texture. Because, you look at a building, it's not going to be one flat color. It's got all the stones in it, all the little speckles, and all that fun little accents. And even on the roofs of buildings, there's stuff on them, like maybe there's a door to the roof or the exhaust vents or any other kind of materials on the roof. Little things like that will definitely help the picture as well.
Yeah. Also, I'm back. I don't know why, but my dad was knocking on the door.
It's okie pokey.
I have returned. So yeah, that always sounds pretty good. So I hope that helps. Do you have any other like specific questions that we haven't addressed?
If not, we did also get another submission from
Ooh.
the stream chitty chat. That's what I wanted to say.
From a Daedra.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Or a day draw.
Actually need more water. Got a really dry throat today.
Oh no.
So, here it is.
You cutie patootie.
Whoops, I posted it on the wrong layer.
Oh no.
I am
Goodbye, Fluttershy.
She'll be back. There she is. I think. Yeah, there she is. Okay, I'll be right back. Just need to grab some water.
No problem. I gotta say, first of all, pretty dang cutie patootie Fluttershy. Very, very nice show accurate. The one thing I noticed though is she has no little nose. She's got the nostril but no nose bridge.
Okay, so this is really okay. Yeah, this is mostly show accurate then,
Mhm.
which is good. This is a good starting point for everyone. One thing that I will say right off the bat, her front hooves are too small. I just make them a little bit bigger. Kind of just
And
fluff them out a little bit.
maybe a less intense, curve down. Maybe just kind of like.
Yeah, definitely. You want to define the hooves, but not to the point that it's like sharp.
Mhm. Because think of it like your own wrist. You can't really bend your wrist to the point where like you're flat against your arm.
Second thing that I noticed, she's kind of got a lumpy booty, which is probably a very interesting thing for Fluffy to come back to and hear.
I heard that, but I didn't hear what the context was.
So yeah, she's kind of got a lumpy booty. Ponies just kind of have a circle for a butt. Really, that's kind of their entire deal. So don't like try and add the extra bit there. Everything on her back end is basically going to be just the hawk and like, yeah, just the butt and the hawk pretty much. So don't try and add anything to that too much. Just kind of let it form itself.
The butt.
It's a very, very cute picture. I see a lot of
It really
show style accuracy here. So I'm guessing you studied references a fair bit.
Especially in the eyes. Really
Yeah,
nice
that's
job on
the thing.
Yeah,
That-
this is very show accurate, and this is a really good place for everybody to start.
Yes, it
And I
is.
also gotta say, I love the curves on the hair. I think you handled that really nicely. Like, there's a really nice curve on the hair on both sides. They feel like they're overlapping. They feel like they have the thickness. It's like the show thickness,
Mhm.
It's got that nice flow and overlap.
Hmm.
Kudos.
Did you have any questions today, Drew? Oh, here's a reference.
I suggest people go to literally at the very beginning of their art career if they're trying to draw ponies. Like, yeah, this is exactly what I suggest to people.
We'll see.
Ah, I see. Yeah, the thing about so show style is a blessing and a curse. A lot of it's meant for animation. So a lot of
Yeah.
what they can get away with is different than what a still image can
Because
get
you can
away
see,
with.
you can see in this particular reference, that is obviously a bit of an error there.
Mm-hmm. And they do more extreme things. Like I know we commented on the overlap of the hoof at the front, how it's like super bent, where like a pony's joint would be a little more fluid. So yeah, that is definitely something to consider style-wise. I know the show pushes
Wait,
them a
CPC.
bit further.
Too late. I was going to say redo what you just rubbed out. Oh, there you go.
In
Thank
the
you.
cheek.
Because that's actually a really good thing. Sorry to sort of cut you. I saw Kipenski
no,
do
it's
something
okay.
really good and then she rubbed it out. But that's actually a really good thing that CPC has done here. Oh, there we go. See, the head is like a very, very circular. In fact, if anything, you've got like too much of a lump here on this side. I'm on the wrong layer. But really there's like a lot of structure to face. Think about like skulls; they're not a circle. So while we start with a circle as a guide, it's really good if you can practice getting like this sort of shape in. And what CPC's done here is really good. You got like the top of the skull comes around and it arcs in. This is the temple here. Oops, my thing is picking colors instead of behaving.
Oh, I hate that.
This here is the temple. You know, this area above the eye, and it arcs in around the cheeks, or sort of where the eyes are, and then you got this big sort of weighty, fluffy, pudgy, soft cheek, and it leads into the chin, and this adds a lot of shape to your head. So suddenly it's not just a boring circle anymore. You got this actual shape here, which has weight to it, and it feels soft and squishy. That's very much something that they pushed in the movie, because in the show, yes, they are very, very circular.
Super circular. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. And like, while doing show style is completely okay, this is like a way to
the movie
push
is the
and evolve.
revised version.
Yeah,
style.
it really helps evolve just the form of the pony, makes it feel a little bit more, I don't want to say alive, but it really does feel alive instead of like a paper cutting how the show does it.
Yeah, they put a lot more effort into the show animation, so I mean, I would suggest taking a look at that too. Show animation is not a bad place to start, but definitely movie animation is good. Like, really good.
So that's all I wanted to point out anyway, and I think I definitely agree with Q
CPC.
Pencil Case with the shape and with the fluffy cheeks.
The fluff. Everything needs more fluff.
And yeah, you got the red line there to exaggerate the shape, so you can see sort of like how it's obviously not going to be that stretched, but that shows like where it dips and everything. That's very nice.
Like a very cartoony way of interpreting the cartoon, as silly as that's
Yeah,
you know?
like we talk about exaggeration sometimes because it really helps to push something, you know, and then once you push further, you can dial it back to how you want it. Because otherwise, you're
You're never
sometimes a
being
little
afraid
bit
to
too
go too
afraid.
far.
Yeah, you're sometimes a little bit too afraid to move far enough, so you edge along a little bit and you don't really make any progress. So exaggerating, going too far can like really help you to like get past that.
Yeah.
So did you have
Otherwise, I
anything?
had no questions.
Yeah, did you have anything you want to ask us, Deirdre?
They said they had no real questions.
Oh, okay. Woohoo! So I was on the. Oh yeah, I can see that. In case they said anything in the actual Discord. So, if that's everything, have we had any other submissions? From the Chitty Chat?
No, we have not, so we can head back to our final two pieces.
Right up to the very top middle, and that pony has gotten some crazy colouring going on. I like the
honey
cutie
zebra.
mark.
I approve of the cutie mark of the OWO deal. I think that's what it is.
That's what I saw,
It's a
but no,
bee.
it's a bee.
It's a bumblebee.
Oh, it's a bumble. Oh, it is a bumblebee.
Yeah,
I thought.
I thought it was
saw,
a blushing O face, but no,
yeah.
it's a bumblebee.
I was like, oh, that's a truly furry face. I am perfectly okay.
Anyway, we're looking at the little. I don't know if this is Rainbow. I think it's Rainbow Dash or
I
some
believe it's
pony.
rainbow.
Here, so yes, off we go. So I mean, the first thing I noticed is she looks like a Shetland pony. Just because she's very short.
The
so
short legs, yeah.
You really want to push these legs, give them some nice length and weight here. You know, she's got super strong pony legs because she's so athletic. So I have a habit of I like to push the front leg sort of like behind the hiding leg behind, but I'll not do that. Otherwise, your body is not too bad when it comes. Like the chest and tummy are pretty good. The back of the neck, however, I'll get to that. I'm just sort of working my way there.
Working your way downtown.
My pet
I knew you were gonna say it.
actively trying to kill me.
I was like, I that came in my head. I was like, no, I can't, because then Dino or someone will shout.
I'm not here.
Yes,
We're free.
but PFC's doing it. So and then I thought it and you said it. Yeah, so there's you can see how these longer legs immediately make it look more like the super strong rainbow. You know, I think there's something really pretty about the face and eyes you've got. I don't know why. It's just really cute. Got kind of like a long rounder face.
Yeah. The one thing I did was I played with the wings. So I noticed you're doing definitely more show accurate, so I kind of stuck to that simplified version. But the one thing you got to be careful of is you kind of got it's like, you know, when you draw humans and you kind of make sausage fingers, we kind of got sausage wings going on here. They're very big and thick, and they don't really follow the curve that, say, pony wings have. And when I say curve, I mean usually there's an arc connecting the tips in a nice curve. Right now you just kind of have the boop 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 and then they go down. So it's a little chunky and a little less elegant than, say, show style has it. So to just simplify that, all that I did was like I just made quick strokes, and one good nice one up, and you just kind of gotta, like, even if you want to do where you take just your first stroke, having it come up and then make a curve, like just kind of like a backwards D, that could be a great way for you to follow, you know, keep things in proportion and follow it. And then you can just kind of like, oh, each tip of the feather touches the, you know, the curve at some point. Oh, easy peasy, pretty, lemon squeezy. With a lot of practice, of course. None of this is actually easy.
Yes. We should stress that.
Yes, none of this is easy. Just these tips
lie.
that we often forget that are easy tips that can help us.
Yes.
You know? And of course, if you want to go more, you know, realistic wings, which I love to do, and Q Pencil Case there is drawing a nice little diagram on how to break down an actual bird's wing, or, you know, a bird's wing on a Pegasus. It's a bird's wing, so if you ever want to study,
Yeah.
just get birds. So you can definitely go and make it more complicated and have, not complicated, just, I feel like it gives more form. It's not just like, it's not simple, it gives it a little more detail. That
I'm happy with that tail. I'm glad I found that smoothening button.
Smoothening.
The smoothening has happened. But yeah, I mean, the tail and for the mane as well, overlap, as we talked about before in previous critiques today. The tail here, like it's all one shape. What you had originally, it just looks very blocky and it doesn't really follow the kind of shape that you want for Rainbow. Like her tail is like obviously it's shorter than the others. It's sort of meant to be more sort of like just sort of loose and free, but like it still has this kind of stylish flow to it. Like it, you know, you're gonna have the rainbow colors. And I apologize if this isn't Rainbow Dash, but like it you got the same kind of style here going on anyway. But the tail's gonna flow. It is a big ball of hair that flows like this. So you want to accentuate that with the shapes. And so you can re-push that with overlap just to sort of give, like we talked about earlier, just give things weight, give things direction. And the same can be applied to the hair as well.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had to study Rainbow's hair a little while back.
Free to change that face because my internet connection is making my pen just not work well. And I know it doesn't look quite right.
Play around with it a little bit. Oh yeah, I see one thing actually. The eye is a bit too short on the other side.
Yeah, my internet connection makes my pen jump, so I can't actually see my line until after I draw it, which is very useful.
I gave her.
I can talk all I want about it, but it doesn't help if I can't show it.
Yeah. I mean, this is quite a difficult program to work with sometimes.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of ways to draw the muzzle, and I think if you kept with your style, the only thing I would suggest is making it slightly shorter. You have a very long muzzle. It's like kind of long and flat. So, like I said, if you want to keep with your style, just shorten it up a bit, you know? Even if your style is show style.
What I've done is, again, movie style. But yeah, exactly. I even said that I kind of like what you had, just needed a bit of refining. But it almost sort of looks like that really like sort of cartoony. Whoops! What has happened to the program?
No.
Okay, we're back. It like minimized for a sec. You almost got sort of like a really pretty, and I have seen some artists do like a sort of really elegant It's obviously childish looking. I don't even know how to do it because I'm just doing I'm just experimenting. I'm not using a reference or anything. But yes.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like Ivy's. What is his full name? I don't remember his full name right now. Ivy like 67 or something.
But yeah, otherwise I really don't have much else to say. Really nice lines. I like that you went back and made them darker. I definitely see undersketching, so kudos there. Otherwise, yeah, please keep drawing. We can't wait to see what you do next. This is really cute. Just some little things that needed changing.
Mm. It's just fun sketching on it now.
Come on, let's go to the next one.
I like to zoom out just to give them a little bit of a... Because I was kind of zoomed a little bit in just to draw, but there we go.
Little Ivy 25. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh, actually, I just need to correct something that has happened. Which layer is it on? 3? It's on 3, okay. I think it's where I drew the face in. Now the neck's kind of going at a weird angle. I think you probably have to move the head... Oh, I don't know, maybe? You might have to move the head back, but it's just that, like, it's... The way the chin goes into the neck here, the way it's happened in our critique looks a bit odd.
I think actually, in your drawing, you turned the face more than it actually is.
Yeah, I think that's what the problem is. So just keep in mind, like, that this would be too far back for the neck to be. So it would actually sort of... For the angle that I've drawn, it'd be more like this, but that's...
Yeah. No, but
oh, there we
like
go, keep pencil case. Yeah, that looks a bit better.
Yeah, but for the head they
Yeah,
have...
just keep in mind that I accidentally turned it a bit.
Yeah. So, like I said, just keep in mind stuff for what you're doing.
Yeah. That is assuming that, like, the snout... the face was actually turned down and wasn't just, like, the snout was really, like, low. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or a bit of both.
So, to the next one.
Yeah, let's go. It's not this bee pony.
Not the fur, it's the fluff.
So we're going to the Twilight on the left. Fluff. Okay, so she's like looking out over a balcony or something.
Let me see if they have any questions. Working on a new one. Is the anatomy fine so far? Leftmost foreleg kind of troubles me. Not sure if I drew it fine. Also the neck, having trouble properly capturing it. Long-legged style is intentional, by the way.
Ah, okay. I'm glad they prefaced that. I'm just gonna... So there's not really much to... Oh, there we go. I got a good...
Oh, and this was submitted by Dreadpone.
Ah,
So.
nice.
Add that too.
I like we can see... I'm assuming that's... I don't know if that's like glass she's leaning up onto, or if it's just like you drew what wasn't there, like you drawn her legs just to make sure that it was right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, because that would be super cool. That's what we want to see. And if it is like it's glass and you just kind of faded it so it's lighter, that's really a really interesting thing to do in traditional. That's pretty cool. I do like the sort of the context and pose you got going here. Yeah, I'll see Hollow Note and Ali sketching away, so I'll see what you got.
So, one thing that kind of bothers me is the eyes aren't quite the same, and the leftmost eye is kind of intruding over the nose. So oh, dang it, I'm doing that again. With the eyes, just make sure that they're the same kind of style. It's really difficult to tell when you're first doing it, because, yeah, you're, like, I personally get caught up in details, and I make something, like, really, really detailed, and then I go to the next one, and I just kind of, don't, and it looks bad, because then it's like, oh, yeah, these have no symmetry at all. But, so yeah, just keep an eye on that. Make sure that you don't accidentally intrude the eye over the nose, because, yeah, That's pretty much my deal. Yeah.
I can't tell if the mane at the back like ends here or if it's got you've got like sort of two sets of lines going on. So like one's been erased and then drawn over. So I'm not sure if it's meant to be like spiky or whether it's meant to be cut off and that's just like where it wasn't erased properly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
either way, I think you could cut it, and even like have some hair on this side too.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't do that very well. I was very quick, but whatever. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what sort of. The problem is I'm not sure what sort of ponytail style they're doing, or whether it's supposed to be Twilight's usual main style. Because it doesn't. That would be more like this. It looks like they
And
got like a
now,
ponytail going anyway.
Yeah. So I'm looking at what CPC's drawing, and she definitely, I think, has the right idea how to improve this image. Right now, you have a lot of straight, stiff arms and legs. Usually when a pony or even a human is kind of leaning on something, there's going to be a little bit more curves, a little bit more like, think about it. When you're leaning on something, do you stand perfectly straight? Do you, I mean, sure, it depends on how tall you are, and we do have long limbs we're working with, but
Yeah, it depends like what sort of motion you're doing. If she's leaning casually on it, then yeah, that point is very valid. It's only because the way I see it from the pose you got is that she's kind of like directly like pushing herself up, like her legs are like very stretched because she's like pushing up, leaning upwards as far as she can go. Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I cut you off, so I don't know if you were saying anything else.
that's fine, it's fine.
I was trying to help your point. I'm going to zoom in a bit, so I'm not sort of looking at the balcony right now.
But overall, I would say it's pretty stiff, even if she is pushing herself up. So maybe, because the other thing I'm having issues with is that I see this as very anthro, especially if the shoulders are going to be so defined, because pony shoulders do not come out like human shoulders. They are totally different structure. They go, if you really should look at a horse's skeleton, that'll help you the most. So if you're doing something like this, to me, it definitely feels way more anthro.
I'm still looking at how's the tail coming out, because like if you look at the spine here and the body where I've done it, like the tail looks like it's coming out from here. Oh, again, it's picking colours. It looks like it's coming out from here.
Yeah, I would say it should just curve.
Yeah,
it
because
wouldn't actually come out that high.
yeah, because it looks like it's joining too high up and then jutting straight outwards at the top. But yeah, I think curving it down like this, it doesn't. You've already got like it's very simple on the canvas. It's obviously not a huge thing, and you understand that. So you might as well just curve it down here, make it look more relaxed. It's just gonna be like a little thing because look, there's the tail, So that's totally okay. Sometimes things just need to sort of be there just to hint that they're there, Even then I did that wrong. Just like that. I had one of those instances where I drew something well, erased it, went to undo to do stuff, and then I wanted to do it again, and then I can't do it as well as I did the first time. Which happens to me quite a lot, actually. That could work as well, CPC. I'm saying I was just saying my interpretation of the pose that is here is like they're like leaning up and backwards, but like that might not be what they actually want. So yeah, either of those poses that you've done would work nicely. There are others you can do as well. But yeah, it's just a matter of like what they want from the pose and experimenting and just thinking about like how you lean on stuff and looking at references of people doing it, either like actual people references and or like pony stuff, or both. Do both. Oh my god, want to draw in the chat. Can someone explain what I ship it mean? Oh my god. Did you guys have any other points to this?
I'm good.
I'm good here. I really hope. I can't wait to see what you do. I really do have to agree with CPC. Just having some bend, some movement, some definition to the body definitely will help this picture along. To not have, even if you're not showing the back legs, it still feels like it's sort of like the symmetry thing. You don't want them to be doing the exact same thing next to each other. It doesn't feel natural at all. Like if you look at someone stand, their legs aren't going to be perfectly same position, same stature, same stretch, same, So just consider that stuff, and I can't wait to see where this goes. I really hope you post the finished product. And
Yeah, we'd love to see it. We really would. Please don't think that you can only post stuff here or on the subreddit or wherever because you want critique. Like, you absolutely can just show us what you've done. We'd love to see how you've taken what we said or how you've interpreted what you said and come up with other ideas.
Totally. Join the Discords. Just show art. People show art on the Discord. It's awesome.
Yeah. And you don't even have to get critique on that either. You can always just say, you just want to share it.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think we're all done here. Last call for anyone in the chat who has something they want to submit. Now we play the waiting game.
I don't see anyone.
There's a little bit of a delay. We gotta wait.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Is anybody gonna answer Raven or?
I'm getting the Reddit post haste.
Okay. I was like, are we just gonna ignore that or?
No. I don't know if they can hear us, but if you can, I'll talk a little bit about it and then also post stuff. We announce when we're going live on our subreddit, but it is weekly, same time, same place, same day, which is Tuesday at 5:30 Eastern time. We usually put a little post up, like this. Let me post. For example, we post like that. We say, time, the place. Like I said, it never changes, but if you have a Reddit, subscribe to the Reddit. You'll find out. If you have a Discord, join our Discord. You'll notice when the voice chat actually is in use. That's the only time we're live. No one else.
Yeah, you can just spot that.
But yes, Ravenwolf.
Yeah, so I'm glad to hear you're interested. Anywho. Yeah, the Discord. I don't know if you said, but I actually had to see if we had the invite, and yeah, it's on the bottom of the thing, and I also have it running across the top of the screen. But you have to actually just type it in. But yeah.
Click the bottom. It's the easy way.
Yeah, it's in the description there.
But yeah.
So I think that'll be it for this week then.
Yeah, I guess that indeed concludes the session of
the 111th stream. Thank you to every pony who's given us art and come to watch or clicked onto the YouTube later in the future. Hello, future people.
Hi.
Like, comment, subscribe. Woohoo! I never get to say that.
Wait, no, you gotta be like, smash that like button with your forehead on a PC computer.
Huff bump that like button.
Where's the dubstep for the outro?
Oh yeah, we need a Minecraft dubstep outro.
We forgot to say, hey guys!
Bro, hoof the subscribe button.
Good lord, you throw spaghetti everywhere.
Got it.
We have gotten to the point of the stream where we're getting loopy, so...
end it while we still can.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming. This will conclude the stream. So
Yay.
yeah, we hope to see you all next week for the 112th. Woohoo!
Yay. Bye-bye. See you then.
Bye.